It is a truly bizarre story and one that is getting very little coverage across the country. Food processing plants have been catching fire and have been destroyed over the past year. And it's not just a few. We're talking about 16 fires at different food processing plants at the same time that the president is warning about coming food shortages.
With regard to food shortages, and it's going to be real.
We're going to break down exactly what is happening. I'm Ben Swan, and this is Truth in Media. Hey guys, welcome to the show. A lot of people have been asking me to talk about this issue of these processing plants that have been catching fire across the country. 16 of them since just August of last year. It's a pretty stunning turn of events, especially when you consider that, yes, industrial accidents happen. That's not that unusual, but to see so many processing plants specifically to one industry, in this case, our food supply, at the same time that the president's warning about coming food shortages, it's making a lot of people stop and ask questions about what's going on. We're going to break it down for you in just a minute. Before we do, though, a shout out to our partner for this episode, finestknown.com. Right now, inflation is completely out of control. So what are wealthy individuals and even investment firms doing? Well, they're buying up tangible assets that hold value. At finestknown.com, you can purchase antiques and rare coins as well as gold backs, items that have value and are only increasing in value right now. And if you use the promo code finestknown.com/swan, you can get your hands on Civil War rare coins from a new treasure just put on the market. Check it out today, finestknown.com/swan. Back to the story. 16 different food processing plants across the United States have been either destroyed by fire or been involved in some kind of large industrial accident in less than the last year. In fact, these fires began showing up regularly in the news after a fire closed a Tyson Foods meat processing plant in Kansas. The location was a primary beef processing location for the company and the U.S. supply chain, providing about 6% of all U.S. beef. Shortly after that fire, there was talk that the meat supply in the U.S. could be affected. Now, that particular fire didn't get a whole lot of news coverage. It certainly didn't get national news coverage. But what's interesting about this is that that was the first of several fires taking place at food and meat processing plants across the country. It kicked off almost a domino effect of other plants having similar accidents. Just days later, in August of 2021, the Patak meat processing facility burned near Atlanta. The media took notice there because the family-owned business is beloved in its local community and its products are purchased nationwide. The fire in Georgia barely had a minor impact on the food supply chain nationwide, but then in September, a fire at JBS USA, a meat processing facility in Nebraska, threatened the meat supply for the entire nation profoundly. The plant reportedly processes about 5% of the nation's beef, and closure would directly impact the supply chain. And by the way, JBS is the same meat processing facility that had hackers attack it last year. Now, that was wall-to-wall coverage on just about every news channel in the country that hackers had reportedly taken control of JBS. In fact, they had actually attacked the billing department of JBS, not the actual supply chain. And yet there were all these concerns about how the food supply would be impacted. Then there's a massive fire at a JBS facility and it gets very little coverage at all, especially when that fire actually impacted supplies of food going out to the public. And again, these are just a couple of examples. In all, there have been 16 of these cases. In February, Scherer's food processing plant in Hermiston, Oregon burned down, leaving 2 employees injured. On April 13th, Taylor Farms food processing plant in Salinas, California burned and prompted evacuations. On April 19th, the headquarters of the Azure Standard Food Processing Plant in Defer, Oregon also burned. Now, as I mentioned, there have been 16 of these kinds of fires or disasters at food processing plants across the nation since just last August, which is, again, a stunning number. Now, in most of these cases, the investigations have come back and found there was no foul play. At least that's what the investigation is saying. But certainly it raises serious questions. Again, as I mentioned, when the President of the United States has been warning of coming food shortages. Listen.
With regard to food shortages, yes, we did talk about food shortages. And it's going to be real. The price of these sanctions is not just imposed upon Russia. It's imposed upon an awful lot of countries as well, including European countries and our country as well.
So what does all of this mean? Well, to be completely honest with you, we don't know. Many times when we report on these kinds of things, we don't know the why things are happening, but we do know what is happening. And what seems to be happening right now is beyond coincidence, a series of accidents and fires and damages at food processing plants in a moment where we're being warned that there is going to be a shortage of food supplies. What does it play out into? Well, we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll keep reporting on it as new developments come about. Guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out all of our videos, sovereign.media. That is the name of our social media platform, our free speech platform. And if you're not getting our reports when they come out, just send me a text to the number on your screen. We'll send you our reports directly to your mobile device every time a new one comes out. And by the way, if you're not part of our Telegram channel, you can use the QR code on your screen right now and check us out there as well. I'll see you next time.